Jeff Bezos, Mark Zuckerberg, Jack Welch. What do all these Fortune 500 CEOs have in common? They all understand the importance of building high-performance teams. No remarkable company has ever been built without remarkable people. I also know this from firsthand experience because over the last decade, I've scaled 2 agencies to $1 million a month in revenue and grown several companies featured in the Inc. 5000. So today, I'll get very personal with you. I'll reveal how to build high-performing teams that drive companies forward, beat the competition, and make more money. What you'll learn is unsexy and pretty boring, and it took me blood, sweat, and tears to learn. Yet these are the team building lessons you can only learn after going through a lot. And if you watch this video until the end, you get the benefit without the price tag. So first, let's start with an interesting story. I'll start with the first company that hit $1 million a month. This was maybe 8 years ago, and we were selling lead generation as a service. We were one of the first companies selling this out of Silicon Valley. It hit pretty much from the start. We had companies coming to our website. We had relationships from people in the co-working spaces in SF that we were working with. We went to conferences, and so we were generating leads like crazy, and revenue just started pouring in at a level that we couldn't even imagine. Now, of course, that led to a bunch of challenges in fulfillment. We're having a hard time fulfilling these lead gen orders. It seemed so simple at first. We would just outsource to people in the Philippines to build the lead list. But what do you do when you have $1 million in orders? All of a sudden, your VAs get sick or you need to hire a ton more, and it just couldn't work in its current form. It was like a pressure cooker just shaking. We knew it was gonna blow up at any time. And so we needed people on the team that were high performing that were willing to get this done. So we hired somebody who was one of my co-founders' friends to fix the fulfillment. We knew that the role that we needed to look for was in a manager of these virtual assistants. This was before AI could do any prospecting, before most of these software tools were built. This was very, very early days when it came to cold email for SaaS. We weren't even doing cold email for agencies yet. So we found a candidate. We started with our close network. Who do we know that could solve this problem? My co-founder, Wilson, knew somebody, and so we brought him in to handle the fulfillment side of things. I'm gonna leave a little spoiler alert. If you read the cold email manifesto, you can see what happened with Wilson and what happened long-term with these hires. But in the beginning, it's a good example of what happens when you hit $1 million a month. So we brought him on and the leads started being fulfilled. An order would come in, it would get fulfilled. Order would come in, it would get fulfilled. And that didn't really even start breaking until our revenue scaled even higher. 10xing your revenue in a month is hard. From a marketing point of view, sure, but a lot of it can be virality and being original. But from a fulfillment point of view, from an agency that's going from 100K a month to $1 million a month in 30 days or 60 days, it's bad. A lot of stuff can break. But the roles that I look for when I'm scaling an agency and building a high performance team are the same now that they were back then. An agency has 3 parts. We have marketing, which is top of funnel, how to bring the leads in. We have sales, which is turning those leads into paying customers. And then we have fulfillment, which is making sure those paying customers get a high quality product. Wilson was sales. I did marketing. And so we needed somebody to handle fulfillment. Wilson also handled fulfillment, which again, if you read the book, you'll hear the whole story there in Cold Email Manifesto. Amazon #1 bestseller. And I gotta tell you, once you hire somebody to handle something that's been bogging you down, it is a relief. You wake up every day and instead of being stressed and looking at your phone and hearing complaint or after complaint or having tasks and tasks and tasks, now you wake up calm, quiet. You can take days off even. Maybe even take your son to the park and watch him play with other babies that are less advanced than him because your son is the ultimate genius baby of the world, as all parents think. And you just feel good. It just feels good to have a task that you were stressing about outsourced to somebody that is a high performance team member that's just gonna get it done without you having to think about it. Now, let's get into the practical application of this real case study. Here's what you can learn from this. And by the way, random thought, I swear that for the longest time when I was trying to grow my companies and sign more clients, the dream prospects I contacted were ghosting me. Deals were not closing, and I didn't know how to keep following up without looking desperate. So as the person I am, I put my head down and figured it all out. Staying stagnant while all my peers blew up their companies and made millions was not an option. And since money doesn't literally grow on trees or rain from the sky, I had to create a client acquisition system. So far, this system's made me hundreds of thousands of dollars and even made me close fat deals with Tesla, Netflix, HBO, and other titans. I call this system the baking method. It's a simple system that helps you fill your pipeline with high-paying clients on autopilot. The current price is a steal for how valuable this info is, so it'll probably triple the price the next few days. Who knows? In the meantime, I suggest you check it out in the description below and buy it now. Anyway, back to my point. To really grow any company to 7, 8, or 9 figures, knowing how to build and manage a high-performing team is a must. There's a reason why all the Fortune 500 CEOs talk about it. So let me share with you some of the core principles I learned from pouring sweat and blood into scaling this agency to $1 million a month. The first thing is you need clear goals. If you don't know where you're going, you're not going to be able to get there. If we wanted to hit 200,000 a month, then we would have hit 200,000. But since we wanted to hit $1 million a month, we were able to push and figure out our systems to get to that level of scale. Versus if we had a smaller goal, like 20,000 a month, I don't think we ever would have hit that escape velocity. Next one is role clarity. You really want to make sure that everybody knows what their role is, and so they're not stepping on toes. If I was out there trying to hire VAs and fulfill leads, then I wouldn't have time to do the marketing. Same with Wilson, who was doing both sales and fulfillment before I joined and then before this new person joined. It's too much work for one person, which is why you hire them. So if everyone knows their role, their responsibilities, then nobody's stepping on each other's toes and everyone can focus fire on what they do best. You also want diverse skill sets. You want a team that complements each other. Wilson was a power closer. He could talk to anyone at an event and get them to turn into a closed deal within minutes. I saw him go to events and just leave the event with another $30,000 in monthly recurring revenue, and then we would just roll right into another one right after. That is a great skill set for a person to have. Now, you don't want that type of person handling fulfillment. They don't have the commitment to detail. They're not as detail-oriented to make that happen. So you take the detail guy, you put him on fulfillment. You take the sales guy, you put him on sales. You don't want the sales guy on fulfillment. It's not going to work. You don't want the fulfillment guy on marketing. That's not going to work. So assemble a team with these complementary skills and get out of their way. That means hiring people that are so good at a skill that you haven't yet mastered, which is probably worth a video in and of itself. Let me know in the comments if you want to see a video on that, how to hire people that are better than you. Then there's open communication. You want to make sure that everyone is able to talk to each other. Some people like to just go in the zone and not talk for months at a time before popping up with a solution. And that's totally cool. That happens. What you don't want is somebody who goes in the zone, doesn't talk for months at a time, and then doesn't have the solution at the end, because that kind of thing can ruin your company. Instead, you need people that if they're having trouble, they're going to reach out and be like, hey, I might miss this deadline that's in 6 weeks. Can you help me and figure something out? Then you can talk now so you don't miss the deadline in 6 weeks. My biggest pet peeve as a business is this. Let's say I'm talking to a salesperson on our team, and I have to follow up, first of all, which is not good, but I'll follow up with them and I'll say, hey, when's the proposal going to be ready for this client? And then they say, oh, 3 days, I swear. Then in 3 days, I say, hey, when's the proposal going to be ready for this client? They'll say, oh, I just need another 2 days. Then 2 days later, I say the same. When's this proposal going to be ready? And they give me a proposal. They say, here it is. And they give me a proposal that is just copy pasted something that could have been done in 10 minutes. Now, that kills businesses. That's poison for business. But if you were going to copy paste something in 10 minutes, do it 5 days ago. Don't do it now, because now you've wasted 5 days of everyone's time and we've lost maybe the deal, we've lost money, we've lost sleep. I'm focused on something that I shouldn't be focused on, and the company starts to take a nosedive. So when you're hiring, you need to find these people that are able to communicate when there's an issue rather than letting things slide and just destroying your company. Which also brings us to extreme accountability. The team members need to be held accountable. If I hire somebody on sales and they're not making enough sales to justify their salary, they have to know that they're gonna get fired if they don't sell more. We have a salesperson on our team right now. His goal is 3 closes in the next week. If he doesn't make those 3 closes, he's not gonna make a salary. He knows it, I know it, and he's gonna work harder to make it happen. And if he doesn't make it happen, no harm, no foul. He wasn't a good fit for the role. We all need to approach things with that level of honesty. And to the point of honesty, that's why you need continuous feedback. You need to be able to give real feedback to your team when they're doing poorly, and they need to take feedback. And the same goes for me. If I hire a copywriter and he tells me that my offer sucks because of XYZ reasons, then I need to hear that and improve my offer. If I don't improve my offer, then I'm not gonna get better. The offer's not gonna get better. The customers aren't gonna join, and it was a waste of time to even hire the guy. So that doesn't just go for the people you hire, but it also goes for yourself. If somebody on your team that's an expert is telling you that something's wrong, listen to them and improve it. I also like the idea of a competitive environment where we all see each other's numbers. You know, Jack closed 3 last week. How many did you close? I just closed 2. And seeing it on a scoreboard or a leaderboard. What I've done is set up Zapier automations inside of my Slack, which show me how many sales we're having, how close we are to our sales goal, etc. as they come in. So then our sales team can see this happening and be pushed. It's the same when they're upselling into the mastermind. As each sale comes into the mastermind, Slack gets a notification and all the other salespeople see who sold this guy. And now I'm doing marketing on my own, pushing people towards our mastermind page. So now they'll see, hey, did Alex's marketing close somebody? He's closing 3, 4, 5 people a week and I can't close anyone. Something's wrong. That's a good competitive environment, because that competitive person then is going to improve and start making sales, or they're going to leave. We had a salesperson see the level of sales that our marketing was doing and how it was beating his closing, he dipped, he left. And that's good, again, for everybody involved. You want these non-competitive people, or the people that can't stand the business, out. You don't want them in there festering like a poisonous wound on a homeless person's knee. You don't want any of that. It's gross. Spray some disinfectant on that, aka get them to quit. And then you want to recognize when people win. If somebody is winning big, show them. At our agency, we used to do a monthly town hall where we would showcase the new clients that were joining, big wins from our clients, and then other big wins from around the company. Like, hey, did the project manager do something cool? Did the lead designer do something cool? Whatever, we'd show all that so everyone feels like they're rewarded and acknowledged. And that gives everyone a sense of purpose so that they know that there's a deeper meaning to their work. And by the way, if you're still enjoying this video so far, please make sure to give it a like. It helps us to know if we're creating the right kind of content. Thank you. So as you just saw, building a high-performing team involves putting together multiple moving pieces, but the rewards are unparalleled. The phases of building a high-performing team require recruiting, training, and managing. Now, pitifully, I got some bad news for you. If your goal is to truly grow a company, building a high-performing team isn't enough. The glue that holds together the bridge between a plan and the achievement of the goal is called a system. And systematizing your business is an art form that I've decided to share in the next video. So go ahead and watch it now. I'll see you there.